What do you think is the purpose of life? If you asked people around you, most would probably say that it's to be happy. From early on in our lives, we heard about the pursuit of happiness. It's ingrained in our culture. There's even a portion of the Declaration of Independence that says that we deserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness is reflected everywhere. There's that 2006 movie with Will Smith, that cool song from Kid Cudi. We're all striving for happiness, to the point that, for many, finding it is the purpose of life. But is that how things should be? Is happiness something that we should aim for? That might sound like a dumb question. Everyone wants to be happy, right? But we're here to tell you that you shouldn't chase happiness, because that's a race that never ends. Instead, if you make it a point to be useful to others, happiness, it comes to you naturally. And Aluxers, today we're looking at how being useful is the true purpose of life and letting happiness come to you instead of you chasing after it. Welcome to Alux. The problem with chasing happiness. We know we can't drop a bombshell like, stop chasing happiness, and not explain ourselves, so let's dive into this one first. Do you know the legend of Sisyphus? In Greek mythology, he was a king that cheated death twice. Now, if you know anything about Greek mythology, you know their gods are not chill. Okay? So Zeus punished Sisyphus by forcing him to roll a huge boulder up a hill. But every time he got close to the top, it would roll back down, and he got stuck doing that for eternity. That's why when a task seems endless or pointless, it's called Sisyphean. See where we're going with this? No? Okay, well, we'll spell it out for you. Chasing happiness is a Sisyphean task, an endless treadmill that never stops. The problem is we equate happiness with goals or things. Once you get that job or buy that car, you'll finally be happy. But even if you are momentarily blissful, it's temporary. The feeling only lasts for a little while until you need to reach another goal or buy more stuff. We think that if we have more money, more things, more achievements, we'll fill that hole deep within ourselves. But the hole just gets bigger and bigger the more you throw at it. The goalpost keeps moving forward. Look at some of the most richest, most powerful people in the world. They never stop pushing that boulder. There's always more money to make, more things to buy, more achievements to reach, and the goalpost, it just keeps moving. The problem comes from our understanding of happiness. Everyone wants to be happy, and that's okay. But how does one become happy? Is it a moment of triumph in life? We try to equate happiness to goals, things, and achievements, but it doesn't work that way. And we're not saying that those things can't bring you happiness, but rather that happiness is not meant to be something you get, and that's it. That's the problem. We can't make happiness our goal in life because happiness isn't permanent, and it's not a destination or a single event. It's about the moments in life, big or small, when we find joy in life just for the sake of living it. Happiness isn't permanent because life isn't static. It's an ever-changing journey. Life is full of ups and downs, and without some bad moments, we wouldn't be able to appreciate the truly happy ones. Some days will definitely be worse than others, and that's okay. And some days will just be mundane, nothing special, and that's okay too. Appreciating those days is all part of being happy. You can't make happiness be your purpose in life because the rock will keep rolling down that hill. You need to enjoy the journey and let happiness be its own thing. Don't chase happiness, just enjoy it when it comes. And those happy moments will come to you more frequently and more effortlessly when you help others. Helping others is how we find our purpose, and in some cases, being useful is that purpose. Usefulness as a purpose. Okay, so first, let's just clear something up real quick. Being useful is more than just doing everything for anyone around you. Think about it. How can you be useful not only to others, but to yourself? Usefulness as a purpose is not about just doing without meaning. It's about finding meaning in what you do, finding ways to give value to others, and through those actions, give value back to your own life. It's like Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the purpose of life is not to be happy, it is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference, that you've lived and lived well. And we could drop you a million gems like that one. But again, that doesn't mean you should just do things for others at your own expense. It's more about doing the best you can to help without hurting yourself in the process. A little sacrifice is fine, but you don't need to be a martyr to be useful. You can be useful to yourself with something as simple as reading a good book, or maybe doing some exercise, some resting, and eating well. You bring value to your life when you respect its intrinsic worth. When you take care of yourself, you can better take care of others. And when it comes to finding the best way to help others, it's all about looking for the ways in which you can make a difference in their lives. It could be helping people to solve a problem, or perhaps teaching them something new. Sometimes being useful isn't about doing it all, but just being there. Supporting other people when they're having a rough time is as useful as fixing problems, because some problems we just can't fix. So let's take a look at how to be useful. Alright, at this point in the video, you might want to move away from the pursuit of happiness to the pursuit of usefulness. And if so, congratulations, it's a great move, but how can we be useful? Well, honestly, there are all kinds of ways you can be useful, so we'll just give you a few of them. Number 1, reach out and support others. It feels good to have someone beside you when you win, but also when you're down. And we get down sometimes or have a bad day. It's only human. As we mentioned, part of being useful is just being there for others. When someone isn't having any luck with a project or they're having a hard time with a problem, it means the world to know that they have people looking after them. Just reaching out and asking how they are or if there's anything you can do for them can make a world of difference. Like that theme song from Friends says, "I'll be there for you because you're there for me." Number 2, offer your ears without judgment. We don't mean literally, of course. Don't go around throwing your ears at people. Sometimes what we want is for others to listen to our problems, not to offer advice or solutions, just that we can vent out our frustrations. It's not about telling the person how to fix the problem or about your own experiences finding a solution. Like we mentioned, not all problems are there to be fixed. People need help and support to make their own way in life, but those pushes aren't always physical or literal. Letting them talk about their problems can help them to find solutions on their own, as well as helping them to understand their own emotions. It's easy to talk, but not always so easy to listen. There will come a moment for you to share your experiences. Until then, stay all ears. Number 3, share the lessons you've learned. In life, we learn a lot from our mistakes. Sometimes the most valuable lessons come by paying our pound of flesh. But that doesn't mean that everyone has to go through the same struggles that we did. If you learned something by going through a very difficult situation, why not share it with others? Sure, there are things that we need to experience ourselves to understand, but there's no need to repeat the same mistakes over and over again from person to person when we can do something about it. Break the cycle and share your struggles so others don't have to. You might even feel out that it makes you feel better about them too. Number 4, help people avoid mistakes and fix problems. The benefit of having an outside perspective to an issue is that you can see things that other people can't. When you have a problem, it's difficult to see how to solve it without thinking of how the situation is affecting you. But when the problem is not yours, you have a unique advantage. You can look at it from all angles that you wouldn't be able to from the inside. And that's something that you can do for others as well. Now, the way you go about giving advice needs to come from a place of empathy. People tend to close themselves off when they feel judged or preached upon. And number 5, help people see their own strengths. As we mentioned in our last point, it can be difficult to notice aspects of our situation from our own perspective. It's like your face, you can't really see it unless you look at a mirror or a picture. Something similar happens with our strengths. Sometimes we don't recognize the things we're good at because we take them for granted, but others can help you see those strengths. And that's a way in which you can be useful. Let people know the things that you can see about them that maybe they can't. Even if it's just a simple compliment, they will appreciate it. The fruits of usefulness. Okay, so once you start doing things for others and for yourself, you'll see your life improve in many ways. Some of them are quite unexpected. You'll start to be happy and enjoy the work you do and the help that you provide. Think about the difference when you buy something for yourself versus when you give a gift to someone. That gratitude they show you, it's an entirely different experience. But not just the material. When you help someone through a problem, you feel a sense of fulfillment, a happiness that you don't have to chase. It came on its own. You'll also be less bored. There will always be something you can do for others or for yourself. Finding ways to improve your own life will keep you busy in positive ways, and finding ways to help those around you will help to keep you fulfilled. Now, it's not like you'll never be bored again, okay? Sometimes boredom has its uses too, but your days won't be filled by it. And finally, a great thing about being useful is you never stop learning. When you teach others, you learn more about them and yourself. Sometimes by helping someone with a problem, you end up finding a solution for one of your own. Life is funny like that. It works in mysterious ways. So, to wrap all of this up, here's a final thought. Perhaps we shouldn't be trying to find a singular meaning to life. Life is not something that can be simply defined by one word or one moment. It's a sum of so many experiences. And happiness? Well, happiness is the same. You can't define happiness as one thing or one moment, and it isn't something you can achieve and just retain forever. If you constantly chase after happiness, it will slip further and further away from you. But if you strive to help others around you, you will find happiness in the process. You'll discover the pleasure of being useful, and that will change you for the better. And hey, if not, you can always try pushing that rock uphill. Maybe one day it'll stay up there. Now, for those of you sticking with us until the end, as always, we've saved a bonus for the loyal Alexers. We say that happiness isn't permanent, but there's one person for which that's not the case. Malcolm Myatt, a 68-year-old man from England, was left unable to feel sadness after a stroke damaged the part of his brain that regulates emotions. For the rest of his life after the stroke, he was all smiles and jokes. He passed away in 2017, but during his time, he became the soul of his village. We have to admit, that doesn't sound so bad.